This information is very, very powerful material in regards to scarcity consciousness. We also have a masterclass coming up on this. Let's get it.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Here we go. We got music blaring in the background, like a casual Indian summer, you know. And I'm here to talk to you guys about scarcity consciousness, okay? We also have a Genius Days later on today. Basically, scarcity consciousness is contagious, okay? Now I really want you to start to understand this concept. Because if you have one person who's in victim consciousness in your group of friends, group of colleagues, whatever, it's going to start to impact others around the company or others around the friend circle. Because we as human beings, we almost become like absorbers, like sponges around the people that we surround ourselves with. So if you have one person in scarcity consciousness and you don't have the mentality to handle that, how to use Tung Fu against that, how to subdue that, how to, work alongside that, if you don't have tools of communication, it's very, very difficult to handle scarcity consciousness. You want to go from a why me, why always me mentality to a try me, let's go mentality, okay? What a lot of people do is they get into this very specific dialogue, this thought process with themselves, where they think that they're not good enough, that there's not enough, that, there's not enough to go around, that they lack something. I don't have enough of this, or I don't have enough of that. And that feeling of longing but also emptiness gets you to feel very low, in a very low state of consciousness, right? Where you could even go and steal something, take something, because you're at that low threshold of consciousness, okay? But this is the process that I take people through, from the victim mentality all the way into victor mentality, or the VIP mentality as I call it. So once you decide that I'm not playing a victim anymore, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm not going to blame others anymore. I'm just going to have it hit me and make me stronger, and like build an armor with it, and like move forward with a bunch of tools, right? Now, once you're in abundance, you're still susceptible to scarcity mentality. Okay, this is how they get you with different products and marketing when you're high up on that totem pole, because you want to maintain that totem pole. So they believe, they as in the luxury brands believe that, okay, we can keep you there. You can stay in luxury if you join with us, right? And that's a pendulum swing that can drain your energy. Another pendulum swing that can drain your energy is like going into, let's say, an environment where everybody's drinking, right? And you don't drink, as an example, right? So in that environment, you're being tempted every time you go, right? So that's actually draining your energy. Think about that, right? Your energy is going into, oh, there might be a loss. And once you give that up, you'll be free with this reservoir of extra energy. And sometimes it might be awkward for people. They don't know what to do with that extra energy, right? They're like, I don't know, like, let me do something, But really, that reservoir is there as extra fuel for you to take action on your vision, okay? What do you see for yourself in the future? Like the really grand vision, not the lower consciousness scarcity one. Because the scarcity vision is like, yeah, I just want to be happy, keep it simple, nice home. I've heard many people actually dream of this because they've had it so the opposite way for such a while. They're just okay with getting to neutrality. Like they're just okay with the average, right? And that's okay. There's nothing against that. Like you can definitely be average. But there's this secret fuel that gets activated when you think about ambition and when you think about becoming better. Because how different are those two states of consciousness? One is, how can this be better? One is, how can this get worse? So one is draining in a downward spiral, one is going on an upward spiral, right? So they're like this, away from each other. So in order for you to get out of scarcity consciousness, you have to drop it completely for a bit and just go move into neutrality even. Like not even react to certain things and just get to that point where you're just like observing for a little bit, right? Just to gain that understanding of what the reality really is, not what I've made it with my victim mentality. Because my victim mentality is like wearing a pair of goggles that's going to transmogrify, change the world around me, right? And I don't want that. I want to gain control and clarity of my own world so that I have power, right? So I can PowerPoint, so that I can excel, right? So that I can Microsoft, right? Man, what was I even talking about? Oh my goodness. I don't know, with this hair, I kind of look like, I belong in Finland or something. I don't know why. You guys see that? What would my Finnish name be? Everyone comment down what would my Finnish name be. Like Finland, Finnish. You know what I mean? What would be my Finnish name, guys? Caught by our minds, man. We're caught by our minds and it starts to create a scepter around it. And in order for us to really purify that, we have to be able to create a contraption, a real contraption, an internal contraption, right? It's not some kind of contraption that is outside. This is definitely not like playing Tom and Jerry where you have like a mousetrap, right? The contraption has to be internal. So when it comes in, you feel it and you go boom, and you start to clench or something happens to your system, right? You start to constrict and you notice, why am I constricting right now? Oh, okay. I'm reminded of something. Or, I don't know why, but this object, I don't like it, right? Or some form of a trigger or a cue that you get in that environment where you notice that this is how I'm being affected by it. Oh, that person mentioned this word and that triggered it, right? Okay, now we're going somewhere with this, right? Now we can peel back the layers of the onion more because the subconscious mind does not quit, man. Like there's a layer and then another layer and then another layer. And until you get to the root cause, it's basically meaningless to go swimming around in your subconscious. It's got to be very intentional, that's why. That's why it's got to be very intentional once you do this kind of shadow work, right? Because if you're like, oh, I want to explore my love life and why it hasn't been working, and you take a trip down subconscious lane, and you start seeing all this stuff, man, that stuff could be related to, you know, your healing health or like some other area of your life, you know what I mean? And you're taking it, superimposing it, taking a little bit of the nuances of that and coming back with it, and then you're trying to apply it directly into your love life, and you're like, why isn't this working? Listen, you haven't set the container, okay? So your subconscious wants to be commanded and claimed like a good friend would be commanded and claimed, you know? It's like, bro, let's freaking go, right? Let's go out today, you know? And your friend's like, nah, maybe not today, man. You're like, come on, bro, like what's wrong? Let's get it, right? That's how you have to be with your subconscious, playful. It can't be like this commanding, like general, like, you know, dictatorship type of relationship that you have with your subconscious mind, because it's not going to listen to you, okay? You want a subconscious mind that is responsive, that is responsible, right? It takes responsibility with you. There's a balance of power, right? There's a balance of power with you and your subconscious mind. That's when you start to manifest. That's when you start to activate the flow state. And you can maintain those states of mind or states of trance or hypnosis for longer periods, right? You can be there and then you can snap yourself out of it real quick and then be there. And you can almost surf your subconscious, right? When you have this ability to really tap into the zone. It's a very, very powerful feeling and a powerful state. If you guys want, there is a subliminal file for that. So if you're interested, I can send you the link for that to purchase that, because that's very powerful as well. Hey. Happy Halloween, though, guys. My song is dropping on my own with Perception of Duality is the name of the artist. Perception of Duality, feat scripts on my own. Check it out. It's fire. It's on Spotify, okay? I might just drop it here with this permission. I mean, why not? But yeah, it's a really good song, guys. Like, I highly recommend you listen to it. And we get captured by our minds a lot. So it's up to us to catch that scarcity mentality and get us into abundance paradigm through understanding that there is so much more out there. There's so much to go around, right? And they actually don't want us to know about the free natural resources that Tesla was trying to do, right, back in the day. They don't know about that power, but we're going to slowly discover that power. Like, there's nothing stopping us from actually going there, giving the entire world free renewable energy sources, right? Because I think there is an invisible energy source that we're not tapping into and we're not feeling into. And maybe some of you guys have an idea of what that is. I do too. I have my own idea of what that is. And I think that we can all come together and start to really propel the world in the direction where we see the paradigm, we see the utopia, right? But then we take back a few pieces from that world, which is still subconscious. Think about this, right? It's still the collective unconscious. And it's not formulated yet, so it's going to take time to formulate. So throughout the years, what are some things that you can do to bring your memory back to that point of creation? That's it. Your attention is your future self. Carl Jung said this. I really want you to think on this. Your attention is your future self. Whatever you focus on is what your reality will be eventually. So it's time to focus on the abundance. It's time to see with your eyes and perceive the world as that there is more. There is more of this. I can be better. I can improve. Things are growing. We're all gonna make it. Let's get it. Upward spiral, gang. That is that frequency of abundance. So once you have this template in your mind, play with it. Go and touch 5 luxury brands for me. Just touch them. And then comment down below in this video. I've touched 5 luxury brands. I didn't buy any, but it's cool to touch them. Do that. You need something to start this abundance journey, right? This is a concept by Frederick Dodson. He's one of my favorite authors and practitioners. He actually has a book on flow state. So if you want to check that out, I highly recommend it. The Flow State, Frederick Dodson. I believe it's on Audible. I got it on Audible, but I don't know if there's a hard copy anywhere. That'd be cool to get too. It's a wonderful book. A lot of my concepts have been coming from that book, from these videos that you watched recently. And he has a very different approach to flow, and I really enjoy that he's able to make light of the subject and simplify and bring that nuance of poetry into flow, which a lot of people aren't able to see from that right brain paradigm enough about flow. There's a lot of science to back it up, but there is we're missing that bridge still. And I think Frederick Dodson is just academic and quirky and eccentric enough to do this thing, because he's the guy who has levels of energy, right? If you know of that book, there's different levels of energy, right? Oh man, it's so powerful. This world is filled with so much information that if you can just amplify and tap into it and learn faster at a faster rate, you can and you will. But the secret is all in your hidden mind, okay? The hidden mind, not the mind out here, the conscious one. So you need to go deep sea diving into your subconscious. Any hypnosis, okay? Meditations, okay? Trances, mantras, shamanic work, what else is there? Yoga, Tai Chi, any kind of thing that strings you out of the normal world is making that elastic stretchier. You see what I'm saying? So it's good to practice that, because eventually you're going to have the right propulsion. to move you forward into something. From that space. From that flow state throne, as I like to call it. From the throne, things are born. Before you have that throne, you haven't claimed it. You haven't been like, no, I'm the new ruler of this area. Or you haven't claimed it. So claiming it is a very important thing too. It's like when you say it, there's a little hesitation in your voice. When, you know, others question you on it, and then you start to skew this way with your scarcity. So mental resilience, mental strength, causing the blockades of the mind to come in like a ninja and block attacks from people, like, right? Like really quick, like really quick, like just, like it never even existed in the first place. It takes the code of the insult and rearranges it in such a way and says back something that just defragments their whole entire worldview in a millisecond. Like that's what I'm talking about, right? That's the flow state mastery element of this thing, where you have created and transmogrified your own world through such a flow state lens that there is so much playfulness and freedom now that you can create faster and make more out into the physical world, right? This is a wonderful talk. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Boom.